Chapter 1. The Hidden Benefits of Silence. The overwhelming noise of modern life. From the moment we wake up, we are surrounded by sound. The alarm clock rings, notifications flood our phones, conversations fill our surroundings, and the hum of city life provides an endless background track. Whether it's social media, television, podcasts, or casual chatter, our brains rarely experience true quiet. This constant stimulation creates a hidden but powerful impact on our mental and physical well-being. For many, silence feels unnatural, even uncomfortable. Some people keep the television on for background noise, while others listen to music throughout the day to avoid moments of stillness. However, what if silence was not something to escape but rather something to embrace? What if, instead of fearing the quiet, we learned to harness its power? Silence is more than the absence of noise. It is a tool that can sharpen focus, calm emotions, and bring about personal transformation. In this chapter, we will explore the profound benefits of silence and why it is essential for a balanced, healthy life. The science behind silence. Recent scientific studies have revealed that silence is not merely an empty void but an active state that has a measurable impact on the brain and body. Research conducted in 2013 by Duke University found that 2 hours of silence per day contributed to the growth of new brain cells in the hippocampus, the region associated with memory, learning, and emotions. Unlike constant auditory stimulation, which forces the brain into a state of continuous processing, silence allows the mind to reset, recharge, and even regenerate. Another study published in Heart Journal examined how 2 minutes of silence compared to relaxing music in terms of stress reduction. Surprisingly, the results showed that silence was more effective in lowering blood pressure and heart rate than even the most calming melodies. These findings suggest that silence is not just a passive experience. It actively enhances brain function, reduces stress, and contributes to overall well-being. Silence and stress reduction. One of the most significant benefits of silence is its ability to reduce stress. Noise pollution, whether from traffic, workplace environments, or electronic devices, keeps the brain in a constant state of alertness. This state triggers the release of cortisol, the primary stress hormone, which can lead to increased anxiety, high blood pressure, and even long-term health risks such as heart disease. Silence, on the other hand, has the opposite effect. When external noise fades away, the nervous system shifts from a state of high alert to one of relaxation. The body's parasympathetic nervous system, which controls rest and digestion, becomes activated. This leads to a decrease in cortisol levels, lower blood pressure and heart rate, a calmer, more focused mental state. Regular exposure to silence, even in small doses, allows the body to recover from the harmful effects of chronic stress. How silence enhances focus and cognitive function. With the rise of technology, our ability to focus has been steadily declining. Studies show that the average attention span has dropped significantly in recent years, largely due to the constant influx of information from social media, emails, and digital notifications. When we engage in multitasking, our brains become overloaded, reducing efficiency and increasing fatigue. However, silence provides the perfect environment for deep work, a state of intense focus that leads to higher productivity and better problem-solving skills. The role of silence in deep work. Reduces distractions. Without background noise, the mind can fully concentrate on a single task. Enhances creativity. A quiet mind is free to explore ideas and make connections that are often lost in noise. Improves problem-solving skills. Silence allows the brain to process information more effectively, leading to better decision-making. Many successful people, from authors to entrepreneurs, incorporate silent work sessions into their routines. Bill Gates, for example, is known for his Think Weeks, during which he isolates himself in a cabin to read, reflect, and generate new ideas. By eliminating noise, the mind gains the clarity needed for innovation. Silence and emotional well-being. Beyond its cognitive benefits, silence also plays a crucial role in emotional health. In a world filled with external stimulation, people often struggle to process their emotions. They use distractions, television, social media, or endless conversations to avoid facing their thoughts. Yet, emotions that are ignored do not disappear, they simply accumulate, leading to feelings of anxiety, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. When we allow ourselves to sit in silence, we create space for introspection. This quiet time encourages self-awareness, helping us recognize and process emotions rather than suppress them. Develop greater emotional intelligence by understanding our reactions to different situations. Reduce anxiety by slowing down racing thoughts and gaining perspective. In many spiritual and psychological traditions, silence is considered a gateway to inner peace. Practices such as meditation and mindfulness, which emphasize silent reflection, have been shown to significantly reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. When we embrace silence, we cultivate an inner stillness that brings emotional resilience. The connection between silence and creativity. Creativity thrives in silence. Many of history's greatest artists, writers, and thinkers have credited solitude and quiet as essential to their creative process. Beethoven often retreated into nature for silent walks, allowing inspiration to strike in moments of stillness. Similarly, writers like J.K. Rowling and Haruki Murakami have spoken about the necessity of quiet time for deep creative work. Why silence sparks creativity? Encourages free thought. Without constant input from the outside world, the brain can generate new ideas. Allows for deep reflection. Artists and innovators often use silence to refine their work. Enhances problem solving. Many creative breakthroughs occur in moments of stillness. By stepping away from noise, we give ourselves permission to explore new perspectives and ideas, leading to deeper, more meaningful creative expression. Practical ways to incorporate silence into daily life. While modern society may be noisy, incorporating silence into daily routines is entirely possible. Here are a few simple ways to embrace silence. Morning quiet time. Start the day with 10 minutes of silence before checking your phone or engaging in conversation. Silent walks. Leave your headphones behind and enjoy the natural sounds of your environment. Tech-free evenings. Dedicate an hour before bed to silent activities such as reading, journaling, or meditation. Scheduled reflection. Set aside time each week for deep thinking without distractions. Silent meals. Occasionally eat without background noise, focusing on the flavors and sensations of your food. These small changes can lead to significant improvements in mental clarity, focus, and overall well-being. Chapter 2. Finding stillness in a noisy world. The battle against noise. Imagine waking up in the morning to complete silence. No blaring alarm, no buzzing phone, no distant hum of traffic. For most of us, this is an unfamiliar scenario. From the moment we open our eyes, the modern world demands our attention with a constant barrage of noise. Notifications flood our phones, the television blares updates about the world, conversations fill our homes and workplaces, and electronic devices hum in the background. This level of constant stimulation is not natural. Throughout history, humans lived with long periods of silence, only punctuated by the sounds of nature or meaningful conversation. But today, we fear silence. We turn on music while we work, fill every spare moment with podcasts or videos, and use noise as a shield against stillness. But what if silence wasn't something to escape but rather something to embrace? What if, instead of avoiding stillness, we actively sought it out? Finding stillness in a noisy world is not about eliminating sound entirely but about intentionally carving out moments of quiet. It's about learning to disconnect from the external chaos and reconnect with the quiet power within. Why finding stillness is essential. Before diving into how to find stillness, it's crucial to understand why it matters. Silence is not just an escape from noise, it's a pathway to clarity, creativity, and peace. When we learn to cultivate silence in our lives, we experience profound benefits. 1. Reduced mental overload. When the brain is constantly bombarded with information, it becomes fatigued. Studies show that excessive noise increases cortisol levels, which leads to stress, anxiety, and cognitive exhaustion. Stillness allows the mind to reset, promoting mental clarity and reducing stress. 2. Improved focus and productivity. Our ability to concentrate is directly affected by the amount of noise in our environment. Research shows that a quiet workspace enhances concentration, reduces errors, and improves efficiency. When we eliminate distractions, we enter a state of deep work, where our minds function at their peak. 3. Enhanced emotional regulation. Stillness gives us the space to process emotions rather than react impulsively. Without constant external stimulation, we become more attuned to our inner thoughts, helping us manage stress, anxiety, and emotional fluctuations more effectively. For greater self-awareness, silence provides the opportunity for self-reflection. In stillness, we can examine our goals, thoughts, and emotions without the influence of outside voices. This heightened awareness leads to better decision-making and a deeper understanding of ourselves. 5. Strengthened creativity. Many of history's greatest thinkers, Einstein, Newton, and Da Vinci, embraced solitude and silence as essential to their creative process. Stillness allows the mind to wander freely, make new connections, and generate innovative ideas. By incorporating silence into our lives, we tap into these benefits and transform the way we think, work, and interact with the world. How to find stillness in a noisy world. Finding stillness does not mean retreating to a mountaintop or living in isolation. It simply means making small, intentional choices to embrace silence in everyday life. 1. Start with micro-moments of silence. You don't need to meditate for hours to experience the benefits of silence. Start by incorporating small pockets of stillness into your daily routine. Morning silence. Begin your day with 5 minutes of quiet before looking at your phone or talking to anyone. Silent breaks. Take a few minutes between tasks to close your eyes and focus on your breath. Tech-free evenings. Dedicate an hour before bed to screen-free, quiet activities such as reading or journaling. These small moments may seem insignificant, but over time, they accumulate and create a profound shift in your mental and emotional state. 2. Create a dedicated quiet space. Your environment plays a crucial role in your ability to find stillness. Designate a quiet space in your home where you can retreat from noise and distractions. This could be a cozy reading nook, a meditation corner with a cushion or chair, a space in nature, like a garden or park. Make this space a refuge where you can sit in silence, reflect, or engage in mindful activities. 3. Limit digital distractions. Technology is one of the biggest barriers to stillness. We are conditioned to reach for our phones at the first sign of boredom, filling every silent moment with scrolling, notifications, and media consumption. To reclaim stillness, set phone-free zones, keep devices out of the bedroom or dining area. Turn off notifications, silence unnecessary alerts to reduce distractions. Schedule social media breaks. Allocate specific times for checking emails and social media rather than engaging with them constantly. By reducing digital noise, you create more opportunities for real stillness and presence. 4. Embrace solitude. Many people mistake solitude for loneliness, but they are entirely different. Solitude is a chosen state of being alone, where you can engage with your thoughts and emotions without outside influence. To cultivate solitude, take solo walks in nature. Spend time journaling or reflecting. Engage in silent activities such as painting, yoga, or deep breathing exercises. Learning to enjoy your own company is a key step in embracing silence. 5. Use silence as a tool for deep thinking. Silence is a powerful space for problem-solving and introspection. When faced with a challenge or important decision, resist the urge to seek immediate input from others. Instead, sit in silence and let your thoughts unfold naturally. Great thinkers throughout history have used silence as a way to process complex ideas. Instead of filling your mind with constant input, allow room for your own insights to emerge. Silence in the midst of chaos. It may seem impossible to find silence in an environment filled with noise, but even in the busiest settings, stillness can be cultivated. 1. The power of inner silence. Stillness is not just about external quiet, it is about finding peace within. Even in a noisy workplace or bustling city, you can cultivate inner silence through deep breathing exercises, mindful awareness of the present moment, reframing noise as background sound rather than an intrusion, When you shift your perspective, you learn to access inner stillness no matter the external conditions. 2. Practicing mindful listening. Silence is not just about avoiding noise but about changing the way we interact with it. When engaged in conversations, practice mindful listening. Focus fully on the speaker without formulating your response. Pause before replying to allow space for deeper understanding. Embrace moments of silence in conversations rather than rushing to fill them. This practice enhances communication and strengthens relationships by fostering greater empathy and presence. The courage to embrace silence. For many people, silence is uncomfortable. It forces us to confront our thoughts, emotions, and fears without distraction. This is why so many people avoid it. They fill every quiet moment with noise, television, social media, background music, because silence can feel intimidating. But true growth happens in silence. When we stop running from stillness and start embracing it, we unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. Silence allows us to process emotions rather than suppress them. It helps us break free from the constant need for external validation. It fosters patience, self-awareness, and a sense of calm. Finding stillness in a noisy world is not about rejecting sound altogether. It is about learning to create intentional moments of quiet where we can reset, reflect, and gain clarity. Chapter 3. Silence as a Gateway to Inner Peace. The search for inner peace in a chaotic world. In today's fast-paced society, inner peace feels like an unattainable dream. The world constantly bombards us with information, expectations, and distractions, leaving little room for stillness. From the moment we wake up, our minds are occupied with to-do lists, social media updates, and the never-ending demands of work, school, and relationships. The result? Overwhelm. Anxiety. Stress. Many people search for inner peace in external circumstances, traveling to serene locations, practicing yoga, or listening to calming music. While these can be helpful, true peace does not come from the outside world. It comes from within. And one of the most powerful ways to access it is through silence. Silence is not just an absence of noise. It is a state of being. It is the ability to quiet the mind, center the soul, and create space for tranquility. When we embrace silence, we give ourselves permission to slow down, reflect, and find a deeper connection with ourselves. In this chapter, we will explore how silence can lead to profound inner peace and how to cultivate it in daily life. Why inner peace feels so elusive. Before we explore how silence fosters inner peace, it's essential to understand why so many struggle to find it. 1. The noise of the mind. Even when the world around us is quiet, our minds are often loud. We replay past mistakes, worry about the future, and engage in endless internal dialogue. This mental noise keeps us stuck in a cycle of stress and prevents us from experiencing peace. 2. The addiction to distraction. Many people fill every quiet moment with external distractions, scrolling through social media, listening to music, or watching TV. These habits prevent us from sitting with our thoughts and emotions, making it difficult to develop true inner stillness. 3. The fear of stillness. For some, silence is uncomfortable. It forces them to confront their thoughts, feelings, and unresolved emotions. This fear of facing oneself keeps people constantly engaged with noise and external stimulation. 4. The pressure of modern life. The modern world values productivity, achievement, and constant movement. Stillness is often seen as unproductive or lazy. This mindset makes it difficult for people to prioritize silence and inner peace. Despite these challenges, inner peace is not impossible. It is a practice, a skill that can be developed through intentional silence. How silence cultivates inner peace. Silence acts as a doorway to inner peace by helping us slow down, process emotions, and reconnect with our true selves. Here's how. 1. Silence helps quiet the mind. When we embrace silence, we give the mind a chance to rest. The endless stream of thoughts begins to slow, and we experience moments of clarity. Over time, practicing silence trains the brain to be less reactive, reducing anxiety and overthinking. How to practice. Start each day with 5 minutes of silent meditation or deep breathing. Reduce unnecessary noise by turning off background music or notifications during quiet activities. Sit in stillness for a few moments before making important decisions. By creating intentional silence, we allow the mind to reset and find calm. 2. Silence allows for emotional processing. Many people avoid silence because they don't want to face their emotions. But emotional avoidance only creates deeper stress. Silence provides a safe space to process feelings, reflect on experiences, and heal unresolved emotions. How to practice? Spend time in solitude after an emotionally challenging day. Instead of reacting immediately to negative emotions, sit in silence and observe them. Journal about your thoughts and feelings without judgment. By allowing emotions to surface in silence, we can understand them better and release inner tension. 3. Silence enhances self-awareness. When external noise is removed, we can truly listen to ourselves. We gain insight into our desires, values, and personal growth. This self-awareness fosters a sense of alignment and inner peace. How to practice? Spend 10 minutes each day reflecting on your thoughts without distraction. Ask yourself deep questions in silence. What do I truly want? What is holding me back? Engage in self-inquiry through meditation or journaling. The more we listen to ourselves, the more at peace we become with who we are. For silence reduces stress and anxiety. Studies show that silence lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps the body relax. In contrast, constant noise keeps the nervous system in a state of heightened alertness, leading to chronic stress. How to practice? Take a silent walk in nature to calm the nervous system. Practice deep breathing in silence to release tension. Avoid excessive screen time and information overload before bed. Silence is a natural antidote to stress, promoting a deep sense of calm. 5. Silence strengthens spiritual connection. Many spiritual traditions emphasize silence as a path to enlightenment and inner peace. Whether through meditation, prayer, or quiet contemplation, silence allows us to connect with something greater than ourselves, be it nature, the universe, or a higher power. How to practice? Spend time in nature without distractions. Engage in silent prayer or meditation. Reflect on life's deeper meaning in moments of stillness. Through silence, we tap into a profound sense of connection and purpose. Practical ways to cultivate silence for inner peace. While finding silence in a noisy world may seem challenging, there are simple ways to incorporate it into daily life. 1. Start with small steps. You don't have to sit in silence for hours to experience its benefits. Start with just a few minutes a day, gradually increasing the duration. 2. Designate quiet time. Set aside specific times in your day for intentional silence, such as morning stillness before checking your phone, silent meals without TV or conversation, evening reflection time before bed. 3. Create a silent environment. Make your surroundings more conducive to stillness. Reduce background noise by turning off unnecessary electronics. Use noise-canceling headphones in busy environments. Keep a dedicated quiet space in your home for meditation or reflection. 4. Practice silent activities. Engage in activities that encourage stillness. Meditation or deep breathing exercises. Journaling in a quiet space. Walking alone in nature. 5. Disconnect from digital noise. Technology is one of the biggest obstacles to silence. Try taking social media breaks. Turning off notifications during quiet hours. Having no phone zones in your home. The more we disconnect from external noise, the more we can connect with ourselves. Embracing silence as a lifestyle. True inner peace is not something we find once and keep forever. It is a continuous practice. By making silence a regular part of life, we create an environment where inner peace can flourish. When we embrace silence, we gain clarity in our thoughts. We learn to manage emotions with greater ease. We develop deeper self-awareness. We experience reduced stress and anxiety. We cultivate a stronger connection to ourselves and the world around us. Inner peace does not come from escaping reality but from learning to navigate it with a calm and steady mind. Silence is the gateway to this balance. Chapter 4: Silence and Self-Reflection. The Power of Looking Inward. In today's fast-paced world, we rarely take the time to truly reflect on ourselves, our thoughts, emotions, decisions, and personal growth. Instead, we are constantly reacting to external stimuli, moving from one task to another, one conversation to the next, without pausing to process our experiences. But self-reflection is crucial for personal development. It allows us to assess our actions, understand our motivations, and make better choices in the future. Without reflection, we risk repeating the same mistakes, feeling lost in life, and struggling to grow as individuals. Silence provides the perfect environment for self-reflection. When we remove distractions and sit in stillness, we create space to observe our inner world. This chapter will explore how silence enhances self-reflection and offer practical methods to integrate reflective silence into your daily life. Why we struggle with self-reflection. Despite its importance, self-reflection is often overlooked or avoided. Here are some common reasons why. 1. The fear of facing ourselves. Many people are afraid of silence because it forces them to confront their thoughts, feelings, and past mistakes. It's easier to stay busy and distracted than to sit alone with our thoughts. But avoiding self-reflection only leads to unresolved emotions and repeated patterns of behavior. 2. The addiction to constant stimulation. We live in an age of digital noise, where every spare moment is filled with notifications, social media, or entertainment. Because of this, we rarely experience true stillness, making it difficult to develop the habit of introspection. 3. The misconception that reflection is wasted time. Some people view self-reflection as unproductive or unnecessary. They believe that action is more important than contemplation. However, without self-awareness, our actions can become aimless or ineffective. Taking the time to reflect ensures that we are moving in the right direction. 4. The busyness of modern life. With packed schedules and endless responsibilities, finding time for silence and reflection can seem impossible. However, even short moments of stillness can provide powerful insights and clarity. Despite these obstacles, self-reflection is one of the most valuable practices for personal growth. And silence is the key that unlocks it. How silence enhances self-reflection. Silence creates the space needed for deep thought, allowing us to examine our beliefs, emotions, and behaviors. Here's how it helps. 1. Clarity of thought. In the absence of distractions, our thoughts become clearer. Silence allows the mind to slow down, making it easier to focus on important questions and insights. How to practice. Spend 10 minutes in complete silence each day, simply observing your thoughts. Ask yourself, what thoughts occupy my mind the most? Are they serving me or causing unnecessary stress? 2. Emotional processing. We often suppress emotions by staying busy. But when we allow ourselves to sit in silence, we can acknowledge and process our feelings in a healthy way. How to practice. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a few minutes to sit quietly and observe your emotions. Instead of trying to fix your feelings immediately, simply acknowledge them without judgment. 3. Identifying patterns and habits. Silence provides the opportunity to recognize recurring patterns in our behavior. Are you repeating the same mistakes? Do certain triggers cause unnecessary stress? Through reflection, you can identify areas for growth. How to practice. At the end of each day, spend 5 minutes reflecting on your actions and interactions. Ask yourself, what went well today? What could I have handled differently? For strengthening intuition. When we constantly seek external opinions, we lose touch with our inner wisdom. Silence allows us to reconnect with our intuition, helping us make decisions that align with our true values. How to practice. Next time you face a difficult decision, spend time in silence before seeking advice from others. Listen to your gut feeling and observe the thoughts that arise in stillness. The art of deep self-reflection. Once you establish moments of silence in your life, you can take self-reflection even further by using structured techniques. 1. Journaling in silence. Writing down your thoughts is a powerful way to gain insight. When combined with silence, journaling becomes a form of self-dialogue that reveals hidden thoughts and emotions. Exercise. Find a quiet place and write freely for 10 to 15 minutes. Answer questions like, what do I truly want in life? What is holding me back? What lessons have I learned recently? 2. Silent meditation for awareness. Meditation is one of the most effective ways to cultivate self-awareness. By sitting in silence, focusing on the breath, and observing the mind, you develop a deeper understanding of yourself. Exercise. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Sit in silence and focus on your breathing. Notice any thoughts that arise without judgment, then gently return to your breath. 3. The power of silent walks. Walking in silence, especially in nature, allows the mind to wander freely and promotes self-reflection. Many great thinkers, from Aristotle to Steve Jobs, used silent walks as a method for deep thought. Exercise. Go for a 20-minute walk without listening to music or engaging in distractions. Reflect on a specific question or simply observe your thoughts as they arise. 4. Visualization in silence. Visualizing your ideal future while sitting in silence can provide clarity on your goals and aspirations. Exercise. Sit quietly and close your eyes. Imagine yourself 5 years in the future, living your best life. Reflect on what steps you need to take to get there. The benefits of regular self-reflection. When practiced consistently, silent self-reflection leads to profound benefits. Heavy checkmark: improved decision-making, greater clarity leads to better choices. Heavy checkmark: emotional intelligence. Understanding your emotions helps you manage them effectively. Heavy checkmark: increased self-confidence. Knowing yourself deeply fosters self-assurance. Heavy checkmark: better relationships. When you understand yourself, you interact with others more authentically. Heavy checkmark: personal growth. Self-awareness allows for continuous learning and improvement. By embracing silence as a tool for self-reflection, you take control of your personal development and create a life that aligns with your true desires. Overcoming resistance to silence. Even with the best intentions, it can be difficult to embrace self-reflective silence. Here's how to overcome common challenges. Heavy checkmark: if silence feels uncomfortable, start with short sessions and gradually increase the duration. Heavy checkmark: if you struggle with overthinking, focus on your breath and let thoughts pass without attachment. Heavy checkmark: if you can't find time, incorporate silent moments into existing activities like commuting or eating. Heavy checkmark: if distractions arise, use a quiet space or noise-canceling headphones to create an environment conducive to stillness. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Over time, silence will feel less like an empty void and more like a powerful tool for self-discovery. Chapter 5. The healing power of silence. Silence as a source of healing. The human body and mind have an incredible capacity to heal, but only if given the space to do so. In today's fast-paced world, silence has become a rare luxury, yet it is one of the most powerful tools for restoration and renewal. Healing is often associated with medicine, therapy, or lifestyle changes, but silence is an overlooked remedy that supports both physical and emotional well-being. It provides the necessary conditions for the body to recover, the mind to reset, and the soul to find peace. In this chapter, we will explore the profound ways silence promotes healing, how it affects both mental and physical health, and practical strategies for integrating restorative silence into your daily life. The connection between silence and healing. Healing does not only mean recovering from illness or injury. It also refers to emotional processing, mental clarity, and spiritual renewal. Silence plays a crucial role in each of these areas, acting as a natural force that restores balance and harmony. 1. Silence lowers stress and reduces cortisol. Chronic stress is one of the biggest obstacles to healing. When we are constantly exposed to noise, whether from city traffic, digital screens, or social interactions, our nervous system remains in a state of heightened alertness. This activates the production of cortisol, the primary stress hormone, which leads to heavy checkmark: increased anxiety. Heavy checkmark: weakened immune function. Heavy checkmark: higher blood pressure. Heavy checkmark: sleep disturbances. Silence has the opposite effect. Studies show that periods of silence can significantly lower cortisol levels, helping the body move from fight or flight mode to rest and digest mode, where true healing occurs. How to use silence for stress reduction. Start and end your day with at least 5 minutes of silence to reset your nervous system. Take silent breaks during the workday to prevent stress buildup. Use deep breathing in moments of stillness to enhance relaxation. 2. Silence promotes brain regeneration. Neuroscientists have discovered that silence stimulates brain cell growth, particularly in the hippocampus, the region responsible for memory, learning, and emotional regulation. A groundbreaking 2013 study conducted by Duke University found that 2 hours of silence per day led to the regeneration of brain cells in mice, suggesting that silence plays a crucial role in cognitive function and mental clarity. How to use silence for brain health. Spend time in quiet environments, such as a park, nature reserve, or a dedicated silent space at home. Limit exposure to excessive noise pollution, including television, loud music, and unnecessary background noise. Engage in activities that combine silence with deep focus, such as reading, meditation, or creative work. The brain thrives in stillness. By allowing periods of silence, we enhance our ability to think clearly, learn faster, and retain information more effectively. 3. Silence enhances emotional healing. Many people avoid silence because it forces them to confront unresolved emotions. While distractions may temporarily suppress feelings, true emotional healing requires acknowledgement and processing. In moments of silence, emotions surface, not to overwhelm us, but to be seen, understood, and released. This process is crucial for mental well-being, as it allows us to let go of past pain, reduce anxiety, and cultivate inner peace. How to use silence for emotional healing. Sit in silence when experiencing difficult emotions instead of immediately distracting yourself. Journaling in silence helps process feelings and make sense of complex emotions. Meditate on unresolved issues, allowing emotions to surface naturally. Rather than fearing silence, embrace it as a space where healing can begin. 4. Silence boosts immune function and physical health. Your body is designed to heal itself, but chronic noise and stress interfere with its ability to recover. Prolonged exposure to loud environments has been linked to weakened immune response, increased inflammation, and higher risks of heart disease. By contrast, silence encourages the body to enter a state of relaxation, where cellular repair and immune function improve. How to use silence for physical healing. Practice silent relaxation techniques, such as yoga or breath work, to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Spend time in nature, as natural silence enhances overall well-being. Reduce nighttime noise, as silent sleep environments lead to deeper rest and improved recovery. Silence is not just a mental tool, it has tangible effects on physical health and longevity. 5. Silence improves sleep quality. Sleep is one of the most important factors in healing, yet many people struggle with insomnia, restless nights, or poor quality rest due to constant noise exposure. Studies have shown that noise disrupts the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone, leading to difficulty falling asleep and frequent wake-ups. Silence before bedtime, on the other hand, promotes deep and restorative sleep. How to use silence for better sleep. Turn off screens and avoid digital noise at least 1 hour before bed. Use earplugs or white noise machines to eliminate disruptive sounds. Practice a silent nighttime routine, such as deep breathing or reading in a quiet space. A silent, peaceful environment is essential for restoring energy and allowing the body to heal overnight. 6. Silence facilitates spiritual healing and connection. Many spiritual traditions emphasize silence as a path to enlightenment and inner harmony. Whether through prayer, meditation, or contemplation, silence allows individuals to connect with their higher selves, nature, or a greater universal force. Silence helps answer life's big questions. Who am I beyond my thoughts and emotions? What truly brings me fulfillment? How can I align with my highest purpose? How to use silence for spiritual growth. Spend time alone in nature, observing without distraction. Practice silent meditation or prayer to deepen inner awareness. Reflect on gratitude in silence, appreciating life's blessings. By quieting external distractions, we open ourselves to insight, wisdom, and a deeper sense of peace. Incorporating healing silence into daily life. Despite living in a noisy world, silence can be cultivated through simple, intentional practices. Heavy checkmark morning silence. Start each day with 5 to 10 minutes of stillness to set a calm tone. Heavy checkmark silent meals. Occasionally eat in silence, focusing on flavors and mindful presence. Heavy checkmark tech-free time. Dedicate parts of the day to device-free silence. Heavy checkmark silent walks. Walk without music or conversation, simply observing the world around you. Heavy checkmark nighttime silence. Create a quiet sleep environment for deep, restorative rest. By weaving these moments into your routine, you create a life filled with more clarity, balance, and healing. Chapter 6: Silence and Mindfulness. The intersection of silence and mindfulness. In a world that never stops talking, mindfulness offers a way to reconnect with the present moment, and silence plays a crucial role in that process. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present, aware of your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment. It is about embracing life as it unfolds, rather than getting lost in the past or anxiously anticipating the future. Silence and mindfulness are deeply interconnected. Silence removes distractions, allowing us to fully engage with the present. It helps us listen, not just to the world around us, but to our own thoughts, emotions, and intuition. Yet, in modern society, silence is often drowned out by a constant stream of noise, both external, social media, conversations, traffic, and internal, self-doubt, overthinking, emotional turmoil. The challenge is learning to embrace silence as a path to mindfulness, rather than fearing it. In this chapter, we will explore how silence enhances mindfulness, the benefits of practicing silent mindfulness, and practical ways to integrate it into your daily life. Why silence is essential for mindfulness. Mindfulness is about tuning into the present moment with awareness and intention. However, when our environment is filled with constant noise and distractions, our ability to focus is weakened. Silence creates the perfect setting for mindfulness by 1. Removing external distractions. In noisy environments, our attention is constantly pulled in different directions. Conversations, notifications, and background sounds force our brains into a reactive state. Silence eliminates these distractions, allowing us to fully engage with what we are experiencing. Heavy checkmark. Try this. Spend 5 minutes in a silent room, focusing only on your breath. Notice how much easier it is to concentrate without background noise. 2. Quieting the mind's chatter. Even in the absence of external noise, our minds are often loud. We replay past conversations, worry about the future, and get caught in loops of self-doubt. Silence gives us the space to observe our thoughts without judgment, helping us break free from mental noise. Heavy checkmark. Try this. Sit in silence and simply observe your thoughts. Don't try to control them, just watch them come and go like passing clouds. 3. Enhancing sensory awareness. When we eliminate unnecessary noise, our other senses become more attuned. We notice the feeling of the air on our skin, the rhythm of our breath, and the subtle sounds of nature. This heightened awareness deepens our mindfulness practice. Heavy checkmark. Try this. Go outside and listen to the sounds of nature in silence. Notice the rustling of leaves, the distant chirping of birds, or the gentle movement of the wind. 4. Creating a space for emotional clarity. Mindfulness is about accepting our emotions without suppression or resistance. Silence provides the opportunity to process emotions fully, rather than distracting ourselves with noise or activity. Heavy checkmark. Try this. The next time you feel overwhelmed, find a quiet space and sit in silence. Allow your emotions to surface without judgment. Notice how they shift and evolve over time. The benefits of practicing silence and mindfulness. When silence and mindfulness are practiced together, they create powerful benefits for mental, emotional, and physical well-being. 1. Reduce stress and anxiety. Studies show that practicing mindfulness in silence lowers cortisol levels, reducing stress and anxiety. By quieting the mind and body, silence activates the parasympathetic nervous system, leading to deep relaxation. Heavy checkmark. Practical tip. Set aside 10 minutes of silent mindfulness each day to regulate stress and improve emotional balance. 2. Improved focus and mental clarity. Silence allows the brain to concentrate without distractions, improving cognitive function and decision-making. Mindfulness further enhances this effect by training the mind to stay focused on the present moment. Heavy checkmark practical tip. Start your work or study sessions with 2 minutes of silent mindfulness to center your attention. 3. Strengthened emotional resilience. When we practice mindfulness in silence, we become more aware of our emotional patterns. This awareness helps us develop emotional intelligence and resilience, making it easier to respond rather than react to life's challenges. Heavy checkmark practical tip. When faced with a difficult situation, take a silent pause before reacting. Use that moment to check in with your emotions. 4. Increased creativity and problem solving. Many great thinkers and artists have credited silence and mindfulness for their creative breakthroughs. By removing distractions and allowing thoughts to flow naturally, silence creates an environment where inspiration can flourish. Heavy checkmark practical tip. If you're struggling with a creative block, take a silent walk or meditate for a few minutes to reset your mind. 5. Deeper connection with yourself and others. Mindfulness in silence fosters self-awareness and deeper relationships. When we become fully present with ourselves, we also become more present in our interactions with others. Heavy checkmark practical tip. Practice active listening in silence. Truly absorb what someone is saying without preparing your response in advance. How to integrate silent mindfulness into daily life. While traditional meditation is one way to practice mindfulness in silence, there are many simple ways to incorporate it into everyday routines. 1. Silent mornings. Starting the day in silence sets a peaceful tone. Before checking your phone or speaking to others, spend a few minutes in stillness. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Sit with your morning coffee or tea in silence. Reflect on your intentions for the day. Focus on your breath or simply observe your surroundings. 2. Mindful walking in silence. Walking in silence enhances awareness of your body and surroundings. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Walk slowly, paying attention to each step. Notice the sensations in your feet, legs, and breath. Observe your surroundings without judgment. 3. Eating in silence. Mindful eating in silence allows you to fully experience the taste, texture, and aroma of food. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Eat without distractions. No phone, TV, or conversation. Chew slowly and savor each bite. Notice the flavors and sensations in your mouth. 4. Silent meditation or breathing exercises. Dedicating time each day for silent meditations strengthens mindfulness. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Find a quiet space. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. When thoughts arise, gently return to your breath. 5. Tech-free silent evenings. Constant digital stimulation makes it difficult to be present. Creating silent evenings allows the mind to unwind. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Turn off screens at least an hour before bed. Read, write, or simply sit in stillness. Reflect on the day with gratitude. Overcoming common challenges. Many people struggle with silent mindfulness at first. Here's how to address common obstacles. Heavy checkmark if silence feels uncomfortable. Start with small doses, just a minute or 2 at a time. Over time, you'll become more comfortable. Heavy checkmark if your mind won't stop racing. Instead of trying to suppress thoughts, simply observe them. Let them come and go without attachment. Heavy checkmark if you don't have time. Incorporate mindfulness into daily activities like commuting, cooking, or waiting in line. Heavy checkmark if you get bored. Shift your focus to physical sensations, such as the feeling of your breath or the warmth of sunlight on your skin. Chapter 7. Embracing silence for mental clarity. The struggle for mental clarity in a distracted world. In today's world where information is constantly thrown at us from all directions, mental clarity feels harder to attain than ever before. Our minds are overloaded with notifications, social media, conversations, and responsibilities. We are expected to process a staggering amount of information daily, often without a moment to pause and reflect. This mental clutter leads to exhaustion, indecisiveness, and reduced productivity. It creates a fog in our minds, making it difficult to focus on what truly matters. We feel stuck, overwhelmed, and unable to think clearly. But there is a solution: silence. Silence is the key to decluttering the mind and restoring mental clarity. By intentionally embracing moments of silence, we give our brains the space they need to reset, process thoughts effectively, and regain focus. In this chapter, we will explore how silence sharpens the mind, improves decision-making, and enhances overall cognitive function. Why mental clarity is difficult to achieve. Many people struggle with mental clarity, not because they lack intelligence or capability, but because they are constantly bombarded with distractions. Here are some of the most common barriers to clear thinking. 1. Digital overload. We live in the information age, where we consume more content in a single day than people in the past did in a lifetime. Every notification, email, or news update demands our attention, preventing deep thought and reflection. 2. Constant multitasking. The brain is not designed to juggle multiple tasks at once. Multitasking creates cognitive overload, forcing the mind to switch rapidly between tasks, which reduces focus and efficiency. 3. Emotional noise. Unprocessed emotions, stress, anxiety, fear, act as mental clutter. When our emotions are in turmoil, they cloud our ability to think logically and make sound decisions. 4. External noise and distractions. A noisy environment can prevent deep focus. Whether it's the sounds of traffic, background conversations, or digital distractions, external noise competes for our attention, making it difficult to concentrate. 5. Lack of reflection time. Many people never take time to sit in silence and process their thoughts. Without reflection, ideas remain scattered, and important insights get lost in the mental noise. The good news is that silence provides a direct antidote to these challenges. How silence enhances mental clarity. Silence is not just the absence of sound, it is a powerful tool for sharpening the mind. When we embrace silence, we create the conditions necessary for clear, focused thinking. 1. Silence gives the brain a break. The brain is constantly processing information, even when we are not aware of it. However, prolonged mental activity without rest leads to cognitive fatigue. Silence acts as a reset button, allowing the brain to recharge and function more efficiently. Try this. Spend 5 to 10 minutes in complete silence each morning before engaging with technology. Use silent moments throughout the day to pause and reset your thoughts. 2. Silence reduces mental clutter. Our minds are filled with unnecessary thoughts, worries, and distractions. Silence helps declutter the brain, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. Try this. When feeling overwhelmed, step away from noise and spend a few minutes in silence. Journal in silence to organize your thoughts and clear mental clutter. 3. Silence improves decision-making. Rushed decisions often lead to regret. Silence allows us to think deeply before acting, ensuring that our choices align with our values and long-term goals. Try this. When faced with a difficult decision, sit in silence for a few minutes before making a choice. Avoid reacting impulsively, take a silent pause to reflect on the best course of action. 4. Silence increases focus and concentration. Research has shown that working in silence enhances productivity and cognitive performance. The absence of distractions allows the brain to enter a state of deep focus, where ideas flow more freely. Try this. Work in a quiet environment, free from background noise or interruptions. Use noise-canceling headphones or find a silent space when engaging in important tasks. 5. Silence strengthens memory and learning. Studies have found that silence improves memory retention and learning capacity. When we give our brains time to process information in stillness, we absorb and retain knowledge more effectively. Try this. After learning something new, spend a few minutes in silence to let the information sink in. Avoid jumping from one task to another. Pause between activities to allow for deeper understanding. Practical ways to use silence for mental clarity. While finding silence in a noisy world can be challenging, there are simple ways to incorporate it into your daily life. 1. Silent mornings. Starting the day in silence allows for mental clarity before external distractions take over. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Wake up 15 minutes earlier than usual and sit in silence. Avoid checking your phone or engaging in conversations immediately after waking up. 2. Silent breaks throughout the day. Taking intentional silent breaks allows the brain to reset and regain focus. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Step away from screens and spend 5 minutes in silence between tasks. Close your eyes and take deep breaths to clear your mind. 3. Silent work sessions. Working in silence improves productivity and focus. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Turn off notifications and create a distraction-free workspace. Set a timer for focused silent work, e.g., 45-minute sessions followed by short breaks. For silent reflection at night. Ending the day in silence allows for better sleep and mental processing. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Spend a few minutes in silence before bed, reflecting on the day. Avoid loud environments and digital distractions in the evening. 5. Silent walks for clarity. Walking in silence allows for deep thinking and mental processing. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Go for a 20-minute walk without music or conversation. Observe your surroundings and let your mind wander freely. Overcoming resistance to silence. Some people struggle with silence because they are used to constant stimulation. Here's how to overcome common challenges. Heavy checkmark if silence feels uncomfortable. Start with small doses, just a minute or 2 at a time. Gradually increase as you become more comfortable. Heavy checkmark if your mind keeps racing. Focus on your breath and let thoughts pass without attachment. Heavy checkmark if you feel unproductive in silence. Remember that mental clarity leads to better decision-making and productivity in the long run. Heavy checkmark if distractions arise. Use a dedicated quiet space or noise-canceling headphones to create a silent environment. Chapter 8. Silence and Creativity. The link between silence and creativity. Creativity is often thought of as something spontaneous, a sudden spark of inspiration that strikes at random. But in reality, creativity thrives in stillness. The world is filled with distractions that pull our attention in 1,000 directions, making deep thinking and original ideas harder to cultivate. Every beep of a notification, every conversation, every background noise competes for our mental energy, leaving little room for creative flow. Silence, on the other hand, provides the ideal environment for creativity to flourish. It allows the mind to wander freely, make unexpected connections, and develop new ideas. Without noise and external distractions, the brain can enter a state of deep focus, where innovation and originality emerge. In this chapter, we'll explore the profound connection between silence and creativity, the science behind it, and practical ways to use silence as a tool for unlocking your full creative potential. Why noise stifles creativity? Modern life is filled with constant input, emails, social media, conversations, and entertainment. While this endless stream of information may seem stimulating, it actually hinders creativity by overloading the brain. Here's why noise interferes with creative thinking. 1. It prevents deep focus. Creativity requires concentration and deep work, but noise keeps the brain in a state of surface-level processing. Without periods of uninterrupted silence, we struggle to enter the creative zone where ideas flow effortlessly. 2. It blocks subconscious processing. Many creative breakthroughs happen subconsciously when the mind is allowed to process thoughts in the background. Noise keeps the brain constantly occupied, leaving little room for these deeper insights to emerge. 3. It limits free thought. When surrounded by external stimuli, the brain focuses on reacting rather than exploring. This limits the ability to make new connections and think outside the box. 4. It triggers stress and overstimulation. Loud environments and excessive information cause cognitive overload, making it difficult to think creatively. Stress narrows mental flexibility, reducing the ability to generate innovative ideas. To unleash true creativity, we must create space for silence and mental stillness. How silence fuels creativity. Silence is not an empty void, it is a fertile ground for ideas. Here's how it enhances creative thinking. 1. Silence encourages deep thinking. Creativity is not just about random inspiration, it's about deep thinking and problem solving. Silence allows the brain to engage in introspective thought, where complex ideas can take shape. Heavy checkmark, try this. Set aside 30 minutes of silent thinking time each day to explore new ideas. Sit quietly with a notebook and write down whatever thoughts come to mind. 2. Silence activates the default mode network, DMN. The default mode network, DMN, is a part of the brain that becomes active during rest and introspection. It is responsible for heavy checkmark, daydreaming and imagination. Heavy checkmark, connecting seemingly unrelated ideas. Heavy checkmark, deep problem solving. Studies show that silence enhances DMN activity, leading to greater creativity and insight. Heavy checkmark, try this. Spend time in complete silence before brainstorming ideas. Allow your mind to wander without trying to force creative solutions. 3. Silence helps make unique connections. Many creative breakthroughs happen when disconnected ideas merge into something new. Silence creates mental space for these unexpected connections to occur. Heavy checkmark, try this. Before solving a problem, sit in silence and reflect on different possibilities. Let your mind combine concepts from different areas to form fresh ideas. 4. Silence enhances visual and auditory imagination. Creative minds often rely on mental imagery and internal soundscapes. Silence sharpens these abilities, making it easier to visualize ideas and mentally experiment. Heavy checkmark, try this. Close your eyes in a silent room and imagine a creative project in detail. Visualize new possibilities before putting them into action. 5. Silence promotes flow state. The flow state is a state of deep focus where creativity feels effortless. Musicians, writers, and artists often describe it as being in the zone. One of the best ways to enter flow is through silence. Without distractions, the mind can fully immerse itself in a task, leading to heightened creativity. Heavy checkmark, try this. Work in a completely silent environment for extended periods. Eliminate interruptions and allow yourself to enter deep focus. The role of silence in famous creative minds. Throughout history, great thinkers, artists, and inventors have recognized the power of silence in creativity. Heavy checkmark, Albert Einstein often engaged in silent walks, using them as a way to process complex ideas. He believed that deep thinking required solitude and stillness. Heavy checkmark, Leonardo da Vinci embraced silence for mental clarity. His notebooks reflect deep observation and thought, cultivated through moments of quiet introspection. Heavy checkmark, Nikola Tesla developed many of his most brilliant inventions by spending hours in silent reflection, allowing ideas to take shape in his mind before turning them into reality. Heavy checkmark, Virginia Woolf famously wrote about the need for a room of one's own, where silence and solitude were essential for creative work. If some of the greatest minds in history relied on silence to enhance their creativity, perhaps we should too. How to use silence to unlock creativity. Want to harness the creative power of silence? Here are some practical strategies. 1. Schedule silent creativity sessions. Set aside dedicated time each day to engage in silent creative work. Heavy checkmark, how to do it. Choose a quiet workspace free from noise and distractions. Set a timer for 30 to 60 minutes of uninterrupted creative thinking. Work on your project in complete silence, allowing deep focus. 2. Use silent meditation for creative inspiration. Meditation in silence helps clear mental clutter, creating space for new ideas. Heavy checkmark, how to do it. Sit quietly and focus on your breath. Allow creative thoughts to arise naturally. Keep a notebook nearby to capture ideas after meditation. 3. Take silent walks for idea generation. Walking in silence stimulates creative thought by engaging the subconscious mind. Heavy checkmark, how to do it. Walk alone in nature or a quiet environment. Avoid using headphones or engaging in conversation. Let your mind wander freely without forcing ideas. 4. Engage in silent brainstorming. Traditional brainstorming often involves loud discussions, but silent brainstorming can be more effective. Heavy checkmark, how to do it. Write down ideas in complete silence before discussing them. Allow 5 to 10 minutes of silent reflection before solving a creative problem. Encourage team members to generate ideas in silence before sharing them. 5. Work in silence for maximum productivity. Creativity thrives in uninterrupted focus. If you're working on an important creative project, eliminate noise and distractions. Heavy checkmark how to do it. Turn off notifications and close unnecessary tabs. Use noise-canceling headphones or work in a silent space. Commit to a period of deep creative work without interruptions. Chapter 9. Enhancing Relationships Through Silence. The Power of Silence in Human Connection. When we think of relationships, whether romantic, familial, friendships, or professional, we often associate them with communication. We are taught that expressing our thoughts, feelings, and emotions is key to building strong connections. While this is true, there is another, often overlooked element that plays an equally powerful role: silence. Silence is not the absence of communication, it is a form of it. In a world where people are constantly talking, texting, and sharing opinions, the ability to listen, pause, and embrace quiet moments can transform the way we relate to others. Silence enhances relationships by fostering understanding, deepening trust, reducing conflict, and strengthening emotional connections. In this chapter, we will explore how silence can be a tool for better communication, how to use it effectively, and why learning when to be silent is just as important as knowing when to speak. Why silence is essential for strong relationships. Many people are uncomfortable with silence, especially in conversations. They feel the need to fill every pause with words, fearing that silence signals awkwardness or disinterest. However, when used intentionally, silence can enhance relationships in profound ways. Here's why silence is essential for meaningful connections. 1. Silence enhances listening. One of the biggest challenges in communication is that people often listen to respond, rather than to understand. When we are focused on preparing our next words, we fail to absorb what the other person is truly saying. Silence allows us to become active listeners, fully engaging with the speaker without interruption. It shows that we respect their words and are present in the moment. Heavy checkmark, try this. Next time someone speaks, pause for a few seconds before responding. Focus entirely on their words, rather than formulating your reply. 2. Silence builds trust and comfort. In strong relationships, silence is not awkward, it is comforting. True intimacy is not about constantly talking but about feeling at ease in each other's presence, even in moments of stillness. Heavy checkmark, try this. Spend time with someone you care about without feeling the need to talk. Observe how silence can strengthen the connection rather than weaken it. 3. Silence prevents misunderstandings. Many conflicts escalate because people speak without thinking. In emotional situations, responding immediately can lead to misinterpretation, heated arguments, or hurt feelings. A moment of silence before speaking allows us to process emotions, choose words carefully, and prevent unnecessary conflict. Heavy checkmark, try this. Before reacting in an argument, take a deep breath and pause for a few seconds. Ask yourself, is what I am about to say helpful or hurtful? 4. Silence encourages emotional expression. Not all emotions need to be verbalized immediately. Sometimes, allowing silence in a conversation gives the other person space to express themselves more deeply. When we rush to fill silences, we may unintentionally cut off deeper emotions that need time to surface. Heavy checkmark, try this. If someone is struggling to find words, give them time instead of filling the silence. Allow emotions to emerge naturally without forcing the conversation. How to use silence effectively in different relationships. Silence plays different roles depending on the type of relationship. Here's how to harness its power in various social settings. 1. Silence in romantic relationships. In a healthy romantic relationship, silence is not a sign of disconnection. It is a sign of deep comfort and emotional security. Couples who are truly connected can sit in silence together without feeling awkward. Heavy checkmark, ways to use silence in a relationship. Deep listening. Give your partner time to express themselves fully before responding. Silent affection. Sometimes, a touch, a glance, or a shared moment in silence says more than words ever could. Pausing before reacting. When emotions run high, a silent pause before speaking can prevent unnecessary arguments. 2. Silence in friendships. Strong friendships are built on trust, and part of that trust is knowing that you don't have to constantly entertain each other with words. Heavy checkmark ways to use silence in friendships. Being present. Sometimes, simply being there for a friend is more powerful than offering advice. Allowing reflection. When a friend shares a problem, sit in silence for a moment before responding. This shows that you are processing their words thoughtfully. Shared quiet moments. Enjoying silence together, watching a sunset, taking a walk, or sitting in a coffee shop strengthens bonds without the need for constant conversation. 3. Silence in family relationships. Family dynamics can be complicated, and sometimes too many words can lead to misunderstandings or conflicts. Heavy checkmark ways to use silence in family interactions. Creating space for others. Not every disagreement needs an immediate response. A silent pause allows for better reflection. Respecting boundaries. Sometimes, silence is a sign of respecting personal space rather than avoiding conversation. Encouraging open dialogue. Giving family members time to think and express themselves fully before jumping in with opinions fosters better communication. 4. Silence in professional and social settings. In business and social interactions, silence is a powerful tool for confidence, persuasion, and influence. Heavy checkmark ways to use silence in professional settings. Negotiation power. In business, the ability to pause and remain silent after making a point can make others feel compelled to respond in a more thoughtful way. Active listening in meetings. Instead of interrupting, remain silent and nod or use nonverbal cues to show engagement. Confidence in conversations. People who speak less and listen more are often perceived as wiser and more authoritative. The balance between silence and speech. While silence is powerful, it must be used wisely. There are times when speaking is necessary and times when silence is more effective. Heavy checkmark when to speak. When clarity is needed in a misunderstanding. When offering support and reassurance to someone in distress. When expressing appreciation, gratitude, or love. Heavy checkmark when to stay silent. When emotions are high and words could escalate the situation. When someone is speaking and needs to be fully heard. When silence can communicate understanding and presence more effectively than words. Overcoming the fear of silence in conversations. Many people struggle with silence because they fear awkwardness or disconnection. Here's how to become more comfortable with it. Heavy checkmark reframe silence as strength. Instead of seeing silence as empty space, view it as a sign of presence and depth. Heavy checkmark practice silent listening. During conversations, let pauses happen naturally without rushing to fill them. Heavy checkmark embrace shared silence. Spend time with loved ones in silence and observe how it deepens connection rather than weakens it. Heavy checkmark use nonverbal communication. A look, a nod, or a smile can often communicate more than words ever could. Chapter 10. The Art of Active Listening. Listening versus hearing. The crucial difference. Many people assume they are good listeners simply because they hear what others are saying. But hearing and listening are not the same. Hearing is a passive act. Sounds enter the ears and are processed by the brain. Listening, on the other hand, is an active process. It requires full attention, comprehension, and an effort to understand the speaker's perspective. Active listening is one of the most powerful skills you can develop for improving relationships, avoiding misunderstandings, and fostering deeper connections. Yet, in today's noisy world, true listening has become a rarity. Conversations are often filled with interruptions, distractions, and a desire to speak rather than listen. Silence plays a critical role in active listening. It creates space for understanding, allows for deeper reflection, and encourages people to express themselves more openly. In this chapter, we will explore how silence enhances active listening, the key elements of being a great listener, and practical ways to improve this essential skill. Why active listening is rare in today's world. Despite its importance, active listening is uncommon for several reasons. 1. People are focused on responding, not understanding. Instead of truly absorbing what the speaker is saying, many people are mentally preparing their own response. This leads to surface-level conversations where misunderstandings and misinterpretations are common. 2. The digital age has shortened attention spans. Social media, notifications, and constant stimulation have made it difficult to focus on a single conversation for an extended period. Many people struggle to be fully present, leading to fragmented and shallow communication. 3. Noise and distractions compete for attention. From background music and TV to buzzing phones, modern environments are full of distractions. These interruptions prevent deep listening and weaken the quality of conversations. 4. People are uncomfortable with silence in conversations. When silence naturally occurs in a discussion, many feel the need to fill the gap with words, rather than allowing space for reflection. Yet, silence is a powerful tool for deeper communication. The role of silence in active listening. Silence is often misunderstood in conversations. Many assume that silence means a lack of engagement, when in reality, silence is an essential component of meaningful dialogue. Here's how silence improves active listening. 1. Silence shows respect and presence. When you remain silent while someone is speaking, it communicates that you are fully engaged and value their words. It signals respect, patience, and a genuine willingness to understand. Heavy checkmark. Try this. The next time someone speaks, resist the urge to interrupt. Instead, let them finish their thoughts fully before responding. 2. Silence encourages the speaker to open up. Many people need time to gather their thoughts and express themselves. If you jump in too quickly, you may prevent them from saying something important. Silence creates a safe space for deeper sharing. Heavy checkmark. Try this. When someone pauses while speaking, don't rush to fill the gap. Let them decide if they want to continue. 3. Silence prevents miscommunication. Speaking too quickly can lead to misunderstandings. Silence allows time for processing what was said, ensuring that your response is thoughtful and appropriate. Heavy checkmark. Try this. Before responding in a conversation, pause for 2 seconds. This prevents reactive or impulsive replies. 4. Silence creates emotional depth. In emotional conversations, silence provides space for authentic feelings to emerge. When discussing sensitive topics, allowing silence to exist can lead to greater emotional connection. Heavy checkmark. Try this. If someone is sharing something personal, stay silent and listen deeply. Avoid jumping in with advice or solutions, just be present. The key elements of active listening. Active listening is a skill that can be developed and refined. Here are the essential components of truly listening. 1. Give your full attention. Active listening requires 100% presence. This means eliminating distractions and focusing entirely on the speaker. Heavy checkmark. How to do it. Put away your phone or other distractions. Maintain eye contact and show engagement through body language. Avoid multitasking. Listen with your full mind and body. 2. Use nonverbal cues. Communication is not just about words. Nonverbal cues like nodding, facial expressions, and posture signal that you are engaged and attentive. Heavy checkmark. How to do it. Nod occasionally to show understanding. Use facial expressions that match the tone of the conversation. Lean in slightly to demonstrate interest. 3. Ask thoughtful questions. Active listening involves curiosity and engagement. Asking meaningful questions encourages deeper conversations and shows that you are genuinely interested. Heavy checkmark. How to do it. Instead of asking, "Did that make you upset?" ask, "How did that situation make you feel?" Follow up on details by saying, "Can you tell me more about that?" 4. Reflect and summarize. To ensure understanding, reflect back what you heard by paraphrasing the speaker's words. This shows that you were truly listening and helps clarify any misunderstandings. Heavy checkmark. How to do it. Say, "It sounds like you're feeling frustrated because of what happened at work. Is that right?" Avoid, "I get what you mean." Too vague. Show that you truly understood. 5. Hold back unnecessary advice. Many people listen with the intention of fixing the problem rather than simply understanding the speaker. Sometimes, people don't need advice, they just need to be heard. Heavy checkmark. How to do it. Before offering advice, ask, "Would you like my opinion, or would you rather I just listen?" If they only want to vent, stay silent and supportive. Applying active listening in different relationships. Each type of relationship benefits from different aspects of active listening. Here's how to tailor your listening approach. 1. In romantic relationships. Avoid reacting emotionally, pause before responding. Validate your partner's feelings before offering solutions. Show empathy through silence and physical gestures, holding hands, nodding, maintaining eye contact. 2. In friendships. Listen without judgment. Allow your friend to fully express themselves. Don't rush to fix their problems. Sometimes they just need support. Ask deep questions that show genuine interest. 3. In professional settings. In meetings, allow pauses for reflection before jumping in. Summarize key points to ensure clarity. Use silence strategically, don't interrupt or speak just for the sake of speaking. Overcoming common barriers to active listening. Heavy checkmark if your mind keeps wandering. Focus on the speaker's words as if you need to repeat them back. Heavy checkmark if you feel the urge to interrupt. Take a slow, deep breath and remind yourself that silence is part of the process. Heavy checkmark if conversations feel one-sided. Ask open-ended questions to encourage deeper engagement. Heavy checkmark if you tend to give advice too quickly. Pause and ask, would you like advice, or do you just need someone to listen? Conclusion: the transformative power of silence in listening. The best listeners are not the ones who have the best advice, but those who have the most presence. True listening is an act of respect, empathy, and connection, and silence is its most powerful tool. By embracing silence in conversations, you will deepen relationships, avoid misunderstandings, and become a person others feel safe confiding in. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, be the person who listens. Are you ready to let silence transform the way you connect with others?